Welcome to episode 3 of the Barflies Breakdown. I'm Kevin Bindle. I'm here with always with Coach Pete. 3 weeks in a row now. How you doing, Pete?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing great. We just got through a big holiday weekend over here in the United States and got to spend some time yesterday with my son. Actually went to a baseball game over here. Saw a walk-off win by our Columbus Clippers. And now I'm ready to talk some baseball with you about your Barflies.
It's always fun getting a chance to go with your son, any children for that matter.
Yes, nothing beats it. So this past week we played the Raccoons.
Yep.
Out in Ennepetal. Is that how you say that?
Yep. And
sorry if I got it wrong.
Still the same this week as it was last week. Yep.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that I'm any better at saying it. So played the Raccoons this past week. It was a bit of a rough outing. The Barflies managed 2 runs on 2 hits over 7 innings while giving up 12 runs and 14 hits to the Raccoons. Disappointing outcome, but I'm sure there's some positives that we can find along the way. So first off, let's talk about your plate approach this past week. What happened there that kind of got you out of your zone from last week, where you seemed to really be putting good swings on the ball?
Yeah, you know, it's not every week that we get a chance to face somebody in the second Bundesliga who pitches regularly there. So tough pitcher to go up against. Had really good move with his slider off of the outside corner, and really got us fishing at a lot of those balls. You know, got ahead in the count 0-2 several times, and just trying to come back and chase that breaking ball off the corner. So that kind of got us off on the move. Looked pretty positive in the first inning there. We had Kevin had a nice ground rule double over the fence in right field, and so we were thinking we could get some things moving. Second, we also got Sven over there to third base without any outs in another inning. But yeah, it kind of locked us down several 3-and-out innings, and that's something we got to improve on.
Yeah, well, and then as far as the pitching goes, it seemed like there was a lot of 3-0 counts to the batters. Was that a function of just trying to be too picky around the edges, or you see that going forward with pitching, trying to be more aggressive and getting the ball in the strike zone?
Yeah, I think what we were trying to do is we were trying to pitch around the corners, knowing that Ennepetal has a very good batting rotation. So we were trying to get, paint those outside corners, paint those low and inside corners. Hats off to them. They were patient in the box. They were able to get a good batter's count going. And then when we tried to come back in and with those strikes, they were sitting on those sitting on those pitches, we're able to make really good contact, get some good base hits going.
Well, sometimes baseball will do that to you.
Yep.
So, not to go over this game with too fine a comb, I just don't know how much there is to get from that when you're playing that sort of competition, other than the fact that it was fun to play baseball. But what are maybe some things that you learned in this game that in your quick turnaround this week you're going to be able to work on in training and maybe focus on something that can really help you be more competitive in the next outing?
Mm-hmm. So it's very helpful to be able to have faced them twice now. So we have film now that we can go back and study, see where where they're being able to get those line drives. Kind of our focus really is fixing some of those mistakes that we've had in the outfield. We've had balls come out to us where we're either too aggressive on them and the ball gets past us, or we're not aggressive enough where we could have had a fly out and grabbed that. So we've let it bounce and taken the easy way back. We've had that some of our base running. We've had some of the runners over on second and third, but weren't able to get them home. So even with some pass balls or wild pitches, So we want to look at that, get some confidence in our base running from third base. And really focusing on, those quality at bats. We didn't have enough quality at bats in the game where we're able to run up the count. Coming into the sixth inning, we new pitcher and their relief pitcher was able to come in and retire our side of the lineup with just 6 pitches. So that's something that we can't have going forward. We need to get those pitch counts for the opposing pitcher up. We need to be able to get out of an 0-2 count where we know they're going to be trying to paint the corners, trying to get us to fish at that ball. So we have to. That's what we're going to be focusing on this week. Is really those three areas.
Now, something else though that you have been working on and almost worked this past week though is that quick throw from right field to first base. So how's that coming along? And did that feel good to at least execute that, even if it didn't result in an out?
Oh yeah, that everybody was really excited about that. Knowing the field that we were going to be on, and knowing that kind of scenario could happen, line drive between the gap 1 and 2, getting into right field, being so short there, being able to get that ball into first base and trying to make the force out there. It's not often you really see a 9-3 out in the major leagues, but that's something that can happen quite often. And we practiced that, like you said, on Tuesday last week. We really focused on giving our right fielder Sven that practice session to get comfortable making that throw and recognizing that right away. And came out, first chance he had, opportunity came up, and he executed. Unfortunately, it was a little bit underthrown, and we didn't get the out. But knowing that those things that we've gotten into the practice, where we know scenarios are going to be coming up, that we're able to execute those on in the game. So very exciting on that. Yeah.
So this coming week is going to be in your ballpark. So it's a different field. It's not going to be quite as fast as the AstroTurf over at their field. Do you anticipate still potentially a play like that being a possibility even at your home ballpark, where the ball's not maybe getting to the outfielder quite as fast?
Yeah, so in our ballpark, we've had that executed a few times in the past, so we have done that. It does come up not quite as often. The ball does need to be a little bit harder hit. Anything that kind of goes up a little bit more and comes down, you're not going to have that opportunity. You also have to play your right fielder even further in than you would normally have them, because it's all closed behind the right fielder. It's a home run over our fence, so you do have to be prepared for those balls that hit the net and come down. Yeah.
Okay. So looking forward then to next week, I noticed that this past week you only had 9 active players. Do you anticipate having a little bit more of your squad available next week against the Raccoons?
Yeah, so we've run up right into the vacation time in our neck of the woods. So typically the Germans go on vacation for 3 out of the 6 weeks of the summer period, and so we kind of hit a snag there that very first weekend. But we do look. We should have about 11-12 people there available, and we've seen some returning guys that have taken some time off due to the pandemic that are returning now. So we're looking forward to having them back in the lineup.
Great news. Well, I want to call out one big play from this past week. It appears that there was an incredible diving catch. Can you talk a little bit about that play?
It was, that's one of those, you get everybody excited about that. We had a line drive hit into the gap between first and second base, and our second baseman, Michel Junge, he made a diving catch, got the ball, snow cone, the ball's hanging right out of his glove, and goes to the ground on the dive, and everybody's like, just a break there, did he hold on to it? And then he rolled over, and with the self-awareness to the veteran player knew right away, hey, we had a runner on second, get the ball over there, see if we can double him up. But yeah, it was a great play. Everybody, going wild on that. There's those few highlights that you have during the game, and that was definitely the play of the game for us on our side.
Well, and it's something really positive then to carry forward to the next week and know that everybody on the team has the opportunity to have that moment and really help out the squad.
Yep.
Well, before we get going, do you have any final thoughts before we head into next week's game?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I hate to bring it up, but there are those controversies that you do have during the game, and I just hope that this coming weekend we won't have any of those in the game. There was this one play where we had the second baseman from Ennepetal making a fake tag on our base runner. It's one of those things where it could really lead to injury, and that's why it's in the rule book. And so we hope that those kind of controversies, unsportsmanlike things don't come up this coming weekend.
Yeah, no, you never want to see things where guys get hurt, especially when nobody's getting paid to do this.
No, we're trying to have fun, and the worst thing that can happen is somebody getting injured on a play that didn't have to be made. So.
All right, then. Well, Pete, thanks for your time. Thanks for filling us in a little bit about the ball club this week. And we look forward to talking to you next week about the rematch against the Raccoons, this time at home.
All right. And then you'll find out also next week, we have a little trick up our sleeve for our rotation this week. And so it's going to be interesting to talk about that next week.
Oh, I like it. Good tease.
Yep.
Good tease.
So make sure you fill in. Come back next week and see it.
All right. Thanks, Pete. Y'all have a great weekend. Good luck in your game this week.
All right. Thanks, Kevin. Take care.